My Heavenly Visitation. On Sunday night, June 20th, 2021, I had a lucid dream. This is a dream state in which the dreamer awakens during their dreaming and realizes it is, in fact, a dream. The sleeper remains asleep, but can now act within the dream as their fully conscious self. This has happened to me on occasion, and when it does, the dream interaction always contains an important divine message. This time was no different. Indeed, the message would prove to be the most life-changing for me thus far, granting me a deep insight as to how our waking lives in this world are actually a dream from which we can awaken in just the same way as one awakens during a lucid dream. In fact, the process is identical. Here then is what happened. It started as a regular dream. I dreamt I was told that there were 4 cats living in my deceased grandmother's home, and they needed to be checked on since she had been gone for quite a while. I then found myself standing in her kitchen and discovered the cats were still alive and healthy, but out of food and water. The dishes they ate and drank out of needed washing and refilling. After doing so, I wondered what to do with the cats, since Grandma was no longer around to care for them. I decided it would be best to just let them continue to live in the empty house, and I would just check on them daily on my way home from work. It was time to leave, and as I passed the living room doorway, I noticed Grandma was sitting there in a rocking chair. She looked absolutely radiant. Everything about her was exactly as I remembered, for she had in truth died about a decade earlier, except she glowed with a white light from head to toe. She was the most beautiful I'd ever seen her. "Grandma, what are you doing here?" I exclaimed. "You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be in heaven." To which she serenely replied, "I just wanted to come to see you and say thank you." I then wondered, thank me for what? For taking care of her cats? It was then I remembered something important, something in my dream that wasn't true. Grandma never had any cats. In fact, the one story I heard about Grandma and a cat was that she once owned a Siamese that attacked her so badly that she got rid of it. This remembrance of an actual fact from my waking life caused me to wake within my dream, and I became fully conscious of all my memories from my waking life. My dream became lucid, and I was fully aware I was dreaming. I looked at Grandma and again asked her what she was doing here with me when she was supposed to be in heaven. She made no reply, but simply opened her arms, inviting me to hug her. "But Grandma, you're a spirit. I can't hug you," I said. "If I hug you, my arms will go right through you." I knew I was dreaming. I had no expectations that a hug given while in the dream realm would be satisfying or real in any way whatsoever. Yet she only extended her arms further, still smiling and still wanting me to hug her. So I did. And my arms did not go right through her. In fact, I was able to engage in the best, most loving and connected hug I have ever had, and it lasted for as long as I needed it to. Once I let go, the dream ended, and I found myself back in bed. The next morning, I went on a walk with our dog, Freya. While I walked, I wondered about why I had initially dreamt something false about Grandma, that she had cats, before the dream turned into a waking, lucid dream where I knew the truth of things. Often, when deep in thought, I am answered by our inner guide, whom I refer to as the Holy Spirit. It was then that the voice of the Holy Spirit spoke within me, answering. The false information in your dream had to be presented first to be later used in comparison with the truth, so that you could know the difference between waking and sleeping. When you are awake, you are aware of what is true and what is false. While dreaming, if you remember what is true, you will awaken while still within the dream. This technique can also be used as a means to awaken from what you consider to be your present reality. It is a way to be in this world, but not of it. It is a way to leave your world and enter the one God has prepared for each of you. You can awaken from the dream of your present reality, just as you woke within your sleeping dream with your grandmother. I thought on this answer as I walked with Freya. I thought about how I assumed so much seemed true about this world, the physicality of everything, the realness of it all. Then I thought on the teachings from A Course in Miracles, that this world is not our real home. It is nothing more than a dream. God has another world, a heavenly reality awaiting but our awareness of it for it to become manifest to us. Then, Lesson 160 from the workbook of A Course in Miracles from that morning came to mind. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Of course, I am at home and am merely walking through a dream, much like I did the night before with Grandma. Everything in this world is not the truth. It is the false information I can use to compare with the truth and use it to wake me up. I then thought about the truth. We are one. We are love. We are at peace. I then focused on my understanding of the loving energy of our Creator that lives within all things, and how this love binds us to one another. I began to sense the life force of the trees surrounding me, the power of the sun shining on my face, the sweet smells on the air filling my lungs, bringing me even closer into oneness with my surroundings. With these thoughts, a shift came over me. It happened instantly as I compared what was false with what was true, just as I had the night before in my dream. The truth is, the power within all living things is the truth, not what we see with our eyes. I suddenly felt as though I had woken up. An abrupt silence fell over everything. This is difficult to describe, however, for I could still hear a multitude of birds chirping in the trees. I could also still hear my footfalls on the gravel road and Freya's panting behind me as we walked. And yet, something was very different. Somehow, everything felt still, as though time had stopped. And another thing had changed. I felt a surge of joy and deep abiding peace come over my mind and heart. I could sense an intelligence within every molecule that made all forms of matter, and knew it was not only good, but divine. I felt like I was walking in a dream, yet fully aware I was dreaming, and knew the truth of our reality while still in the dream. I had shifted to a new and much better version of our reality, one where I was free and at peace with all things. It was sublime. Everything around me fell silent with expectation, as though creation was intently listening to me, quietly aware I was at one with it, just as I was intently listening to creation's oneness with me. And we shared in this peaceful union of awareness of all that is, with a mutual feeling of joyful, loving completion. Later, I found I could shift my awareness at will to this reality. All it took was some careful thought about the difference between what is false and what is true. If I'm able to shift my focus to only the truth of our oneness, a new reality opens up. Being awake is but a state of awareness of love's presence surrounding you and within you, a state in which fear is absent. We are at home now. We have never left heaven. We but dream a dream of fear and can choose to awaken from it the moment we realize we are the dreamer. Recognize this, truly believe it, and reality becomes transformed, healed by God without any further effort from you. Written, narrated, and produced by Beth Gear. For more from me, go to www.bethgear.com. You'll also find the transcript to this at that site. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, and peace be with you.